Welcome to Pikes Peak for the 11th round of the ERL INDYCAR series. We'll run 18 green flag laps around here, hopefully. However, in practice we did see a handful of crashes. We call this the Pikes Peak Grand Prix because it's a city right next to the Pikes Peak hill climb, and we call it Pikes Peak just because the hill climb is so near. As for how the drivers will start today, Francis Austin will be on pole position from Lewis Olsen, and this man, Hexel Marking, in car number 68, will start third from Niven Colby and championship leader Kwon Todoroki. Lil Buns is sixth from Max Sportcar and Tommy. Then it's Ghosted and Not Q. Elliot Deli, the man third in the championship, Carson Thornburg, Linus Eriksson, Okui, Safsan, Milsos Micah. Puff didn't have a great qualifying. In fact, neither Penske driver did. Ewa in 17th, Salos Kynes in 18th, and we're going to go on board with Mikyan Gurovich. She starts in 19th position. Then it's Sebastian Messian, David Camino, and Davi Circulera, who is certainly gunning for a Rookie of the Season, which is an award that we will run this season, considering that there are drivers on this grid who are in fact, not rookies. For example, Olsen and Tommy, but the full course caution and the pace car coming in, and Austin will lead us away, rounding the final turn in Pikes Peak. Boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys. Rising out of turn number 1, Austin is about a second ahead of Lewis. Coming through turns 2 and 3, down into 4. The Arrow McLaren man certainly putting a lot of distance between him and the rest of the pack. In fact, everyone remaining effectively single file even through this part of the track. Not Q's got no one near him in terms of side-by-side action. We don't expect to see anything like that either. Milsos try to go alongside Safsan. And yellow's in the second already. That is Lil Buns. Oh, Kwon's off! Kwon up on 2 wheels. He's going to be out of this. He is out. Full course yellow. And Kwon Todoroki, championship leader, out in the second sector. And everyone's bumping into each other like it's a game of ping pong or something. 3 drivers with time penalties. Lil Buns, the man second in the championship. Carson Thornburg, the man third in the championship. And Mikyan Gurovich, who has been leading the championship at some points mid-season. But we get back underway, and Niven Colby's got front wing damage. "16 laps to go. Niven Colby is the man that we're looking at in the number 37 for Sims Motorsport. The very same Sims team that in Formula E is going for the championship, and the past few races haven't been doing well. Francis Austin's gone off the track. He's got front wing damage and a corner cut warning. Must be a lack of grip. Something down there might be reducing grip at the chicane. Don't know exactly what it would be. As Tommy goes off into the wall, Ghosted follows him through. And by that I mean hits the wall too. And I think that the Revolution man doesn't have front wing damage. In fact, neither of them do. Very interesting to note. 15 to the checkered flag. Austin still leading, and Kui, time penalty right behind. Oh, that's alongside Linus Eriksson, right behind Thornburg. As they go on to start their 4th lap around Pikes Peak. And you can ride on board with Okui right now as he's trying to close up to Thornburg, but Eriksson just finds a way to get alongside with the Dutchman in the 99. That's 2 different Dutch drivers, both driving car number 99. Wonder if they're related in any way. So round that hairpin of turn number 6, I believe, as Micah drops to 15th. Olsen trying to close up to Francis Austin. Tommy heads through the chicane. There's a not Q for a split second heading down, and Eriksson getting ever closer to Oakley. On board with go with Viewer Puff, who's up to 16th after a truly lackluster qualifying. He needs to make his way through the pack because he's got the opportunity to try and take the championship lead. Up 5 of 19 and 63% tyre wear for the softs of Francis Austin driving for our McLaren SP and darkening clouds. In fact, Austin's not got half of his front wing. Olsen sends it down the inside. The hyperdrive man takes the lead. In Pikes Peak, they go side by side once more. Lucky not to hit either wall. But Austin has to drop behind Olsen, who leads heading through the tunnel. Quite the move, quite the gutsy move from the 95 to get in front of the 23. But you can see the clouds truly darkening. In Homestead, the Formula E Series faced significant strategical issues for some of the teams, and we've got yellows once again. Is that little Buns? It's not. I think it might be Max Boardcar. If not him, then I cannot tell you who it is, because everyone who's been down there, got no clue who would have caused that. Don't have any rain falling yet. Olsen starts lap 6 of 19, 13th to the checkered flag. No one's coming in yet. If we do see anyone come in, then it'll likely be for some wet tires, because the teams might be thinking about it. You can see some of the lights being switched on in the surrounding buildings. This is how you know it's truly a street circuit. And Olsen leading. Hexel Marks closing in on Francis Austin. For the Arrow McLaren driver in the 23, are issues beginning to compound his race, because he's 3 seconds off the back of Lewis Olsen as they head through the chicane. Hexel closing in. I think I saw some red flashing lights and Tommy's heading off. Tommy spun it, and he's been given a corner cut warning too. Yellows are still out. They've cleared that up, so it was for Tommy. As you can see, a lot of drivers weaving for some reason. You know, the softs are beginning to show some signs of wear, that being, you know, those lines that you can see, but it's the same for the mediums. Austin comes in to fix that front wing and to get rid of those softs. Those are hard tires going on for the Arrow McLaren SP driver. Hard's going on for a Chip Ganassi. That's for Elliot Daly. So both of these drivers going on to the hards. They'll see him comfortably to the end of this race. Olsen, however, still leading. We've only had one retirement, that being Quanto Doroki so far. As you can see, Colby also with a broken front wing. Ghosted getting a time penalty for a collision with no one, it seems. Maybe with an Q who's right in front of him. For Tommy, Revolution Racing Man, he's got a lot of damage. He's not able to use push to pass. Might want to pit soon to get that not just repaired in contact. Oh! Big pincer move! That's Francis Austin. His teammate comes and gives him a little bit of a nudge. Pile up down at the chicane. And oh my goodness me! We're having to try and cut to all the angles that we have. But both McLarens involved. Francis Austin out. And can Linus get himself out of there? No, he's out of this too. Many a driver coming through the pits. Medium's going on for Little Buns. He's having to let many a driver go by, and Sebastian Messian getting a 5-second time penalty. I think he might have passed David Camino. If not, I had to let him go back past. He's got 10 seconds worth of penalties. 11 to the checkered flag. Olsen leads. Full course yellows are ending and we get back underway. You can see there's still some very, very dark clouds. I don't know if I would have wanted to pit that early on, but you know, that's the kind of weaving you've got on the mediums. Corner cut into the wall for Hexel Mark. No front wing damage, so there shouldn't be too much aside from front wing to be an issue. So you can see an Q hopping over the curbs. Ghosted following behind with Niven Colby, who's on the hards, as that's Lil Buns going alongside Milsos Micah, and Buns entered this race 9-ish points, and Micah off is sideways. Your puff heads into the wall. Micah's got a time penalty for colliding with Lil Buns. However, considering the line taken, Not too sure if that was the correct penalty to give, as the original top three have come in. Max Sportcar leads, and Olsen is in second. Lewis Olsen is going to win this race, because Sportcar is yet to pit. He's done 9 laps on those mediums. I expect the next stop for a lot of these drivers to be for inters or full wets, but, you know, rain isn't falling just quite yet. As you can see, Sportcar come through the tunnel. Heads through the chicane on his own. He's the only Andretti in this race, and look at how quickly Lewis is closing up. I think that the 95 is going to take this away quite quickly. Let's continue riding on board with the hyperdrive man, rising through these turns, trying to go around the outside of him, almost contact, and it's going to be the race lead as Sportcar comes in, yellows, and we've found it. It's the Scotsman, Path, in the wall, second weekend in a row where he finds adversity. Gurovic with a time penalty, that's his own teammate, and Puff is out. Full course yellow once more. And for Path, I think that's gonna be a massive dent in his hopes of making it to the Formula E Series, as Prix bumping into the back of Messian, who comes into the pits. Now, just gonna point this out, there is still that topic of discussion, that being Tonelli Gabo's seat in the ERL Formula E Series. Currently, it seems likely that it's either going to be Niven Colby or Milsos Micah taking that seat. If it's going to be either of those two, it's likely to be Colby. Yellow's in the second. That is for Hexel Mark, who's got front wing damage. His teammate went through that chicane, and for the first time in a long while hadn't actually hit anything there. I can just tell Revo, who's actually here in Pikes Peak after his horrifying race in Homestead, just pointing this out, Revo is in fact okay after hanging like a cow down there. Milsos in the wall, front wing damage for the 11. I can tell Revo is looking at his team and hopping on the team radio and going to Tommy, hit the pace car when it comes out again. Tommy probably asking why, and Revo's only response being because you're hitting literally everything else, so just making sure that you're perfect. As Lil Bun's trying to go around the outside of Hexel Mark, not quite able to make the move. It was a brilliant defense from the 68 there, and further up, that's the race leader. Is it? No, it's Niven Colby, probably even worse. He's got front wing damage and gets hit by Tommy, who gets a time penalty. So I guess he is being a lot more perfect now. Oh, Hexel's been given a time penalty. Oh, sideways for Colby, who's out of this. Flipped by Sportcar, I believe. Full course yellows once more. There's 7 laps to go. And if you are watching the ERL for the first time and thinking, who is this guy and why does he sound so good at commentating? Well, first of all, thank you very much for stroking my ego for me. Second of all, subscribe to the channel so I can probably get the attention of someone like Sky Sports or even Whisper Media, so I can do this as an actual job when I'm an adult. Because believe it or not, I'm still not. But we're on board with Hexel Mark. Heading down the hill, running down a dream, as Sportcar going alongside with Lil Buns. Olsen's been given a corner cut warning and spins. He's in the wall. Tommy is coming through the tunnel, and Olsen's still down there at the chicane. He's got himself back up and running, but the yellows are still down there. As Tommy heads through there, should be fine, and Lil Buns seemingly losing a ton of pace. Not too sure why, and an RQ's off. An RQ off into the wall. Thornburg close to him. Almost ran into the back of him. A little bit of damage for Lil Buns, but shouldn't be anything too massive. Prix, oh, like his teammate, he spun it, and he's hit Salos Kynes. Caminos had an issue too, because it looked like he was right behind him, but doesn't seem to be anything too major for the 88. In a red car. Wonder why it's not just a straight up 8. Maybe maybe if they got sponsored by Budweiser, it would be too obvious to be a Dale Jr. throwback as Oakwee comes in for his second stop, 5-second time penalty being served. I'm trying to say things too quickly compared to how quickly my mouth can actually do them. Mediums go on. 10 seconds for Lewis Olsen for a corner cut. 10-second time penalty for Lewis Olsen. Okay. I wasn't aware of this. I had no clue that Lewis Olsen, that any driver in fact, if they were to go off track by cutting a corner and gaining an advantage, according to the ERL's ruling, I had no clue that would be how it would be enforced. That's Camino ghosted, getting a 5-second time penalty. Enoch Yu coming in for his second stop. Track's cleared now. 5 laps to go. And Tommy is closing in. Right now, I don't think Tommy actually has to make any pass. As it stands, he'd still be ahead of Olsen. And the Norwegian's going to have to pit again. Because look at the state of those softs. There's no way he's going to be able to make it to the end with those. Tommy can make it to the end with his hards. Grip will be an issue for him. Olsen running down his dream right now. But he needs to do a lot better than what he's currently doing. He's pulled a second, and we've got yellows. That's Lil Buns. Championship contender Lil Buns flipped by Thornburg and is out. Carson Thornburg has taken out his own championship rival. Thornburg, who's a single point down on Lil Buns. A few more points down. Oh, Olsen's in. Time penalties are being served. You can see they've only started the procedure with hyperdrive down there as Tommy was already done. That's how bad the time penalty was for Olsen, because now he's behind Tommy. Should be about 4 seconds off the back. So keeping my eyes on the number. Tommy 13-12, Olsen 15-14. So yeah, 4 seconds off of the Revolution man due to that time penalty. Many drivers actually coming in for their second stop, but it is still so dark here in Pikes Peak. Max Bortcar is leading. Remember Bortcar? Well, he's hit the wall twice. Hasn't got front wing damage, but still, him leading this race with that much, it's gonna be a bit of an issue. As we now watch Carson Thornburg head through the chicane and miss the wall, thankfully. Tommy heads down that hill and through the chicane. You gotta miss the wall, unlike Saf San, who's in it. He's been... Oh! Olsen and Enoch Yu both there, and Olsen getting a time penalty for causing a collision. That seems unfair. That seems highly unfair. This Hexel Mark comes in to serve their second stop. Serve their 5-second time penalty rather, instead of just serving a second stop. What am I even saying at this point? 3 laps to go. And where's Hexel going to re-emerge in this race in the 68 Revolution Racing car? And he will re-emerge in 7th. Ghosted coming into the pits too. He's going to have to serve a 5-second time penalty as well. And you can see those mediums primed and ready. And is that Bortcar off? Once again it is Max Bortcar. Once again in the wall, those medium tyres not holding up as well as he would have thought. Tommy is moved up into second and is ready to pounce. Here comes, whoa, more issues down there. That's for, is that Carson Thornburg? I think it might have been. If not, it would have been someone further back. Elliot Delly struggling out there. In fact, that is Enoch Yu going past, and Enoch was nowhere near. With 2 to go. And yellows once again. That's Sebastian Messiaen, as his teammate is just done in Safsan. He's in the wall. Camino's coming up. Camino goes through. Davi Sequeira hits him, and it's in the wall. Spins. Oh, out of the race for Sebastian Messiaen. Full course yellow. That's the soup of the day. Hope you enjoy it, because you're going to see it a lot around here. Safsan coming into the pits. And Tommy is exactly a second behind INDYCAR to the 10th of a second. Well, not anymore. He's 1.1 seconds off the back of Max. And if INDYCAR can win today, well, if there was any salt in the wounds for Kwon Todoroki after the past 2 races, well, they've certainly been patched up if his teammate can win this. But Tommy, all over the back is, off into the wall. That's a not Q. Don't know why they've stopped flying the yellows down there. He's hit. Is that Thornburg? No, that's not. That's Deli. Elliot Deli was involved there. We're on to the penultimate lap, and Tommy has gone past and off into the wall. Elliot Deli on the penultimate lap. As you can see, Kui was lining up a move and just couldn't get it done because the yellows came out too quickly. And for the guys at Andretti, the guys at Penske, and the guys at Newman Haas who will become KV Racing next season, remember, if there's anything to say about how things are going on right now, there's only one, and that is, why isn't any of this happening to Carson Thornburg? That's what the teams want to see. They want to see the carnage either not happening for their driver or happening to the driver they're racing against. That's both Tommy and INDYCAR in the wall. Thornburg is heading through the chicane, heading through the tunnel rather, and INDYCAR, unlike Tommy, he hasn't been able to get it through. Thornburg's off, Olsen's off, both of them spin. Is there going to be another instance of contact? Through goes Hexel! Unbelievable stuff! And RQ gets a time penalty. Thornburg gets it back running. And INDYCAR out of this race. Full course yellow to start the final lap. And it's looking to be a revolution in the ERL. Revolution Racing taking a 1-2 finish. Wow, if that's how we finish, then just wow, I don't have another word for it. We get back underway. As you can see, the rest of the pack head through this chicane at the back half of the track. Thornburg, look at the state of those hard tires. Certainly going to be struggling once he heads into the end of the second sector. And for the man who leads this one, 69% car damage, heads over. He's got a time penalty, 10 seconds once more for Tommy, and he's got a broken front wing. His teammate is heading down the hill right now. He can see his teammate right there, heads through the chicane, hits him, and gets a 5-second time penalty as well. Yellow's down in the second sector, and RQ heads through, who should be clean, and Thornburg and heads into the wall, and he's actually on top of Tommy's front wing damage. And Micah, oh my goodness me, carnage down here. But for Revolution Racing on the road, it will be a 1-2. But as for who will actually win this, I cannot tell you. I've got no clue whatsoever. All I know is David Camino's out of this. Carson Thornburg struggling, but he should be able to get points today. And it's all about where Saf San is actually in relation to the other drivers, because I think Saf is should get a podium here today. Maybe, I don't know. That's a full course yellow ends, and no, Saf's not going to get anything out of this. So, Hexelmark takes it from Anot Q and Tommy, I believe. But let's just take a look at the podium and make sure, yes, Hexelmark for Revolution Racing takes the first ERL Series win for a Pakistani driver. Then it is Anot Q and Tommy. Honestly, what a podium. What a podium. 2 Revolution drivers there. Then it's Lewis Olsen, Saf San, Carlos Kynes, and Carson Thornburg from WC Carrera. Also Micah and Mikyan Gurovic. Then it's Ghostin, Okui, the rest of your finishers, with the non-finishers being Camno, INDYCAR, Deli, Messian, Buns, Colby, Ewa Path, Ericsson, Austin, and Todoroki. In the driver standings, well, Kwon still leads 4 points in front of Thornburg. Then it's Lil Buns, Mikyan Gurovic, Niven Colby, and Elliot Deli. Then it's Francis Austin, Davy Sir Carrera, Lewis Olsen, Ewa Puff, Linus Ericsson, Tommy, Milsos Micah, Carlos Kynes, Saf San, Hexelmark, Not you, Prix, Ghost and Max Bortcar, David Cameron and Sebastian Massian in the constructor standings. Heading into the next round of the championship in Barber, Chip Ganassi leads from Newman Haas and Dragon Penske. Then it's Sims Motorsport, Andretti Green Racing, Arrow McLaren SP, Revolution and Hyperdrive Racing, Apex Pinnacle, Prema Power Team and Power Motorsport. Well, after the chaos we've seen here in Pikes Peak, I can only imagine what will happen in Barber. But first, we'll make a quick stop to Chile for the ERL Formula E races 20th race of the season. So I hope you'll see us there when the ERL returns.